Hello, Chicago Sports Tracks. This is Tom here at TC's World of Wonders. Letting you see everything I offer. You know, if you want to get your own personalized products, or if you want to get some hats for your team, if you want to get jerseys, maybe even a hoodie, purse for your wife, cards and dice set, trailer hitch cover, championship flag. I even have car mats, seatbelt pads, headrest, license plates, guard flags, dice, headrest. And, you know, I have it all, and even have championship rings, or even sets, NBA jerseys. Down here's a lot of the main jerseys I have. I even have Bears jerseys, and it's all right here. TC's World of Wonders.com. If I don't have it, let me know. I can add it. But remember to get 10% discount at my site. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Trax. We're coming live to you tonight with our Big East and also our ESPN Plus Sideline reporter. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, guys. I'm doing well. How are you?
Great. Yeah, it's a little chilly here. I don't know where you're at, but it's a little cold here. It's about 50. I almost decided to not take my groceries in, but I said, you know what? I got that protein yogurt. I better take it in. You know, it's not quite ready yet. You know.
Well, I'm in Chicago too, so I'm feeling the same. I'm feeling the same weather.
There you go.
Okay.
Dang, it's 70 down here.
Where are you at?
Louisville.
Oh yeah, that's nice. 70 would be nice right now.
Not rubbing it in.
Is it that big of a difference, Matt?
Yeah, it's so weird. It's only about 5-6 hours away, but yeah, it's always super nice down here all the time. The winters are nothing like Chicago from what I grew up in. And
I used to live in Columbus, Ohio, and similar weather. Like we never got the winter as bad, but I did bust out my fall winter jacket today, and I went into the pocket. I went into the pocket and I saw a disposable mask, and I was instantly had PTSD from
flashbacks.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, no. So that was fun.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
So Terrence, you got a place in Atlanta, right? It's I'm sure it's probably a little bit warmer there yet.
It's warmer in Atlanta right now, but I'm in Chicago right now, so I deal with the yin and the yang. So, you know, I'm with you, Kacy. I'm in that 50-degree, conundrum right now. But, you know, it's not too bad. Right now, it's okay. We just kind of skip past those 80-degree days, and we just jump right into 50. So, you know, it's okay. It's all right.
We never know where our most interesting man of the universe is at. I mean, he's international. He's all over the place. I mean, seriously, he's making moves all the time.
I can't stay still. What can I say?
And Cleet Hales over there in Iowa. What's the weather like over there?
I tell you what, guys, we're caught in a wind tunnel. We're getting all the wind from everywhere, but thankfully we're getting none of the crazy stuff that those folks down in Florida are dealing with right now.
Absolutely.
So I was talking to my neighbor Greg, and he was telling me about how much energy you had, and he goes, "Oh man, she's a ball of fire. You're gonna love her. She's so great and everything." So I was so excited when you agreed to come on with us. You know,
that is such a compliment from Greg, who is also a huge ball of fire and has so much good energy. That's so nice to hear. Thanks, Braggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it like? So you said did you say you were still working Sunday, even though you were?
I did, yeah. So for CHGO, which is where I work full time, I'm the social media director. So I do work during the Bears games. I wasn't at the Bears game, but I'm doing all social media for our CHGO Bears and CHGO Sports Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the platforms, and just making sure that I'm communicating with the reporters who are at the game and pumping out content. I work with a great team. Two of our reporters, Nick and Will, are at Soldier Field and kind of sending in content as they get it. And also we had our first CHGO Bears tailgate on Sunday. So I was working that, taking some pictures, videos. Everyone was having a good time. We had a great turnout. So hopefully more to come of those too.
I wanted to go to that, but you got to.
You should have.
I know, but you can't go to all of them. I mean, I got kids,
You had to feel it out first, see if it was going to be good or not. I get it.
Oh, I knew it was going to be good. A CHGO event with Greg there. I mean, come on, man.
Greg was like our main host. He was phenomenal. I mean, he was like bouquet tossing a Justin Fields t-shirt or a jersey. People love him.
Did you see him on Twitter at like 3:00 in the morning? It's like all dark. You can barely see him in there. And Greg's like, hey, I got a surprise for you.
Yep. And he should literally have my job. He's so good at social media. I can't even keep up with him. I'm like, Greg, just take it. Just take the phone. You do it.
Do you have do you guys potentially sometimes ride in like or work in tandem like that on the sideline, or is it?
Yeah, we do. And all of us really care about the product, and it is a startup, so we are the ones making it grow and making it, the clock turn. But I think in the future I'll have like Braggs take over Twitter for me for a day, or kind of do like a takeover or something like that. We are experimenting with so many different things because it really is just free range to do whatever we think might work. I mean, you guys know in the media and podcast space, it's kind of just like go with something and see what works. And if not, try something else, know? So we're trying all kinds of fun stuff.
It's like when Dick Buckus took over the Chicago Bears.
I saw that. That was so fun.
Like Braggs will just come in. He just takes over. Like, this isn't Kacy. This isn't
exactly.
Kacy.
And that's okay. We all kind of have different voices. Yeah. And, you can tell when a tweet is a Braggs tweet versus a me tweet or one of our other guys. But we have fun with it.
Well, I told Braggs that. He sent me the invite for the tailgate. And unfortunately, we couldn't make it pregame. But I told him, Next tailgate, I said, let me know. I'll be there.
We're going to do more, and I'm excited to meet you guys in person then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be there October 13th for the night game. That's my birthday game. So I'm excited about that.
That'll be fun. Yeah, I love it.
I'm definitely going to take a V-Day the next day. So so if my boss is listening, I will be,
I'm sick.
But anyways, you only live once, right?
Right.
Just hope that you have a job the next day.
Exactly.
So what's the difference? Like, walk me through. Like, okay, so the Big East is mostly is college, and then you've got ESPN Plus, and then what's the different energy level and what takes place? Walk me through that between the two,
Yeah, I think you guys know in sports you need energy all the time. So that doesn't really change. But I think when I'm prepping to do a game for the sidelines for actual television, it's a lot different because I'm on coaches' calls and I'm studying, games and looking at the players' social media and any storylines that I can get for the game. And I think that just the prep is so important. And then you get to the game early and you kind of are ready to go. You're, on camera face, ready to go. And then you're live. So you're it takes me a while at night after I do a game to kind of come down from it. Like I need to relax because I was on for hours. So with Big East and ESPN Plus, that's kind of how that goes. And with CHGO, it's similar, but I'm not on camera as much. I'm on the shows on Thursday. So I'll be on the podcast tomorrow. And that's always a blast too, but it's just a different platform. With CHGO, it's a little more relaxed. We're in chairs. We're in like a comfier studio set. Sometimes we're remote, but then for, ESPN Plus or Big East, I'm on site, actually on the sidelines or, courtside.
So walk me through like the energy part of like, okay, I'm a super fan, so I just got to come straight at you because I've been dying to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Who is like the coolest person you interviewed? Like you were like, oh my gosh, I might need help with this because I'm you know what I mean? That's
a good question. So many of these college athletes are so fascinating. And while they're not necessarily very high profile, they're still so interesting and so driven and so motivated to be the best at what they do. And just their stamina and ability is incredible to watch. I will say one of my cooler interviews was getting to interview Kat Osterman, who's an Olympian softball player. I think she's retired now, but she's
a softball pitcher too, not at that level, but she loves Kat.
Yeah, Kat's like a legend, and if you're a softball fan, you know Kat. And she played for Athletes Unlimited softball up in Rosemont here in Chicago. and she pitched a no-hitter. And so I got to interview her after her no-hitter, which was like really intimidating because she's much, much taller than me. And it's kind of like me with the microphone, like looking up at Kat, and she's all business. Like she's not, a lot of the players have a lot of fun, and she's on the more serious side. She doesn't really like to like, chant or get crazy during games. She's like in the zone, especially when she's pitching. So that was one of the cooler interviews I've done because I think, at the end of the day, she's just a normal person, but I treated it as such. And I think if I would have treated her like, oh my God, it's Kat Osterman, she's this Olympic amazing pitcher, and she's just monumental, then I think I would have not have done as good of a job because I treated her just normal. So that was one of my cooler ones. I hope as my career continues, I get to interview a lot more cool people. I worked with Javi Baez once on a campaign for social media for Toyota.
Wow.
He was awesome. I mean, he was so like kind of quiet and reserved, really humble guy, very opposite from the El Mago vibes we saw in Chicago. But he was great.
That is so cool. Now, when you went to Cat, is that because you're a former pitcher? Or
no, I played at a younger age, never was good enough to play at a collegiate level or anything like that. But I was a host and reporter for Athletes Unlimited last season. So it was this new league where they have basketball, they have volleyball, they have lacrosse, and they have softball, and it's for women's sports. And it kind of gives these pro athletes an opportunity to play here in the States instead of having to go, abroad to play. In the off season. So I got to do that, and it was just incredible just to have professional softball, in our backyard.
My daughter went to Jenny Finch camp. She was there. There was several Olympians there, and Bustos actually trained her.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, as far as like hitting goes, because I was like, hey, listen, baby girl, you got to hit too. You can't just pitch.
That's right.
So,
that's so true.
Yeah, and one of the greatest things that she said was, when you're playing a position, be ready to play another position, because you can't pick the game, and you're always going to be called to do something else. So she picked up on hitting with Bustos and the fundamentals of all that, because a lot of times as a pitcher, you get so dialed into doing that you forget to hit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think it's so cool about the game. And it's also just an added pressure because these women don't get the publicity and the TV time that they deserve, and they're incredible to watch. So it's just a whole different ball game, literally. And it was an honor to get to interview her and work with these athletes and be just, on a first name basis with some of them. They really trusted me to cover their stories. So it was cool.
That's awesome. Cleat and our pros in the nose. You got any questions for her, guys?
Yeah, I tell you, Kacy, thanks very much for your time. And we've been talking on the podcast the last few weeks, just the excitement and the energy level among Bears Nation, and the fans we talk to, the players we talk to. There's just a renewed sense of optimism that we've seen through these first 3 weeks. Are you feeling that too with the people that you talk to?
I am, especially, I grew up a Browns fan because I'm from Ohio. Yeah. So, that was kind of just disappointment after disappointment. And then you come to Chicago and there's more disappointment here, but this year feels a little bit different because we had that great week 1 and the guys were sliding in the rain, and like, it was just a huge moment. And
were
week
you there?
2, no, I was not there. I wish I was. I don't even care if I was soaking wet. Again, covering from the studio. I gotta make it to a game, but there was that renewed sense of like, okay, the season's starting. There's hope. There's optimism. Week 2, I still felt that with the Packers, even though it ended up the way we all thought it would. I still felt like, in the first several minutes of the game, it looks like the Bears really wanted it. They came out with energy. They came out with drive. They came out with force, and they scored early. And again, did I think we were going to beat the Packers? Maybe not. But I still feel like that optimism is there. Now, thinking about week 3, squeaking by with that win. A win is a win. Not the way we wanted to do it, obviously. But I don't know. I'm optimistic. Are you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you said it perfectly, Kacy. I think at the end of the day, if you would have told me after 3 games, regardless of the monsoon in week 1, that we'd be 2-1 going into, play the Giants week 4, I'm saying I'll take that any day.
Yeah.
Because honestly, 1-2 would not have been terrible. 0-3 would have been terrible. 3-0 would have been kind of that dream that I say every year. But I won't go down that path.
Yeah.
So
2-0. 2-0 at home,
perfect.
and the Packers would have been like a cherry on top.
Yeah.
But
Exactly. So
Cherry, that would have been everything on top, sprinkles, everything.
Okay, you're right. I'm
these guys had to really, when you're talking about optimism, these guys will tell you my glass is more than half full. Okay,
good.
We won't say what it's filled with, but
it's your cup runneth over. That's what it is.
To the point where it's flooding.
Right. Yeah. But I will tell you, I mean, to be 2-1 and in this opportunity right now, and the offense is only going to grow. I mean, we're going to continue to grow. The running game clearly is there. The passing game clearly is not. But there's a lot of good things about this team, and it still is a rebuilding of a sort. So one of the things that I've continued to mention and tell people when asked is curb all the enthusiasm at the end of the day. Like, the Bears are going to do some things that are going to be impressive, and they're going to do some things that we're going to say, what, that wasn't the best that we want to be. But that being said, this team is going to be where they need to be in another year or two. It's going to take a little time, in my opinion.
I saw Douglas ask, what are my thoughts on Fields? And I was just about to ask you guys that too, because people are, I think, quick to, what is it? His 13th or 14th start?
Right. 13th starts. Yeah.
Yeah. So quick to kind of just be like, throw it out the window. He's young. I know he's trying. I know people were really upset about his comments where he said, last week that we care more in the locker room than people think, or than other people do. And the fans were up in arms. But we talked about this on our CHGO shows as well. We should want him to care more. That's the right answer.
Yeah,
we should want these players to care.
Exactly.
And I'm disappointed that everyone kind of
isn't
giving him the benefit of the doubt right now.
I agree. And honestly, he should care. And his teammates should care more than we as fans care.
Yes.
I mean, I think and know that I care a tremendously amount, but I will say that they should care more. And I'm glad he did say it. And I had no issue with his comment. I listened to the comment. I said, you know what? I'd say the exact same thing. I guess I'd be blasted in the media too, but that's okay.
I think it was one of those things that,
guy.
Right. I think it was one of those things that was thrown out for Twitter views and likes.
Sure.
And I get that, but
right.
Yeah, if you had a cavalier like Jay Cutler-esque attitude to all these struggles, Kacy, I'd worry. But the fact that he's harder on himself than anybody, and he said I played like trash on Sunday. So that tells me this kid's committed to being the best quarterback he can be.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
People found holes in what he, who he was passing to and everything. But you got to look at all the injuries too right now. I mean, if we can get Velus Jones Jr. back, and some of these guys that are on the injury report, the Bears just released today, I think we'll start to see an uphill climb. I hope.
I kind of compare this to as a because he's really struggled. He hasn't looked good. I still think he holds on to the ball too long. He makes bad decisions. But the offensive line pass protection has not been great. Yeah. But look at some of the other quarterbacks that are doing very well this year, like Jalen Hurts. And Tua down in Miami, but look at the playmakers. The teams went out and got them in the offseason.
Right.
So that's why I still hold out hope that I think if he eventually gets some playmakers next year, or they develop some players as the season continues on, that he can get better and work better with some of those type of talent than what he's working with right now.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, too, I heard on Chicago Clubhouse podcast, our boys in the know over there with T-Nick and them, they were talking about they had Rashid Davis on, and Rashid also talking about even if you have third string receivers or whatever, you can actually out scheme with those players, but it's gonna take time and development and all this kind of stuff too. So it was really refreshing to hear from a receiver instead of a guy who was overcritical about Justin Fields and my Bears while I was watching him pound nails, and he was bending all 3 of them and didn't bring enough nails on the job site to finish the job and asked me for nails. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let you bend all my nails because I'm a carpenter and I'm going to drive easy. And I'm like, oh, hold on a second. You're being critical about these guys, and you can't even do your job as a unit. So, it just blows my mind how some people are like overreacting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't even know if this guy can throw a ball, and it's like.
Well, we were talking at work, like Bears Twitter is just like, it's like White Sox.
Yeah.
It's like White Sox Twitter. Like it's just up and down and everyone is just going crazy.
Right.
How close have you got to Justin Fields? Like, were like close proximity to this?
No, I've never been close to him. Again, like we have reporters who are kind of on site for the Bears games. So maybe I will go with them eventually. I would love that. But yeah, I kind of just cover things from afar sometimes too. Like I'll have the guys send me stuff from Hallis Hall or send me stuff from the field. And because, a lot of these teams are pretty strict about credentials, especially post-COVID. So if we don't need everybody there, we don't need everybody there.
Right. He just is so like well sculpted. Like when I heard he was a vegan, I was like, how do you get all that muscle being vegan? You know what I mean? Crazy.
I know. I couldn't do it.
Plus, as tall as he is, he's like what 6? How tall is he, Terrence? 6'2"?
He's about 6'4", 6'3", 6'3.5", about 6'3.5". Because I'm like 6'2.5", 6'3", and he's about a half inch taller than I am.
Oh, really?
He's. I mean, I'll tell you, he is the most down to earth guy. I mean, got a chance to meet him a couple times. Once over the summer, the Bears Care Gala. So got to talk to him a little bit, and he wants to win. I mean, he's a guy that's going to be first out in practice, last to go in after practice. He wants to win championships. He wants to do well. He had the same mentality at Ohio State, and he's going to continue to be that guy. And I think Bears fans and just people that follow this team just really need to just take a step back a little bit and just let the kid develop. I mean, again, like you said, Kacy, 13 starts. I mean, that's all he has. I mean, he's not a guy that's been out there for a full season last year and now coming in for his full second season.
If I was judged right now on my 13th broadcast, I wouldn't want that to be your depiction of me. Like, give me time to get better.
Exactly. Give him time.
Right.
That's a good point. But you know what I like about what you guys are talking about, Terrence, and you, Kacy, is the guy's heart. That's one of the biggest. That is the biggest muscle. We were talking about sculpted muscle and his physique and all that, and his height, whatever. But it sounds like his heart is bigger than all those. And when he starts to figure this out, think about all the extra time he's going to spend his teammates, developing them, getting them better, getting the cadence down with the offensive line, clicking, being that field general, and then getting the receivers. I really think if he is dedicated like he is, you guys say he is, and he shows up early and stays late, does all this kind of stuff, he's really going to bring this team together. And we have not seen the potential of what this team could really be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay. So I had another question too. Like when you're doing like the sideline stuff, have you ever did you see the video today of the guy that got hammered? He was holding like the big microphone, and right out of the tunnel, he just got hammered by the football players.
Hit. No, luckily I've never been hit, almost by like a foul ball or two. You really have to pay attention on the sideline, especially for baseball or softball. If you're like looking down at your notes or looking the other way. I mean, I know female reporters who have just gotten hit and black eye and had stitches. And so you just have to pay attention, but it can always be a close call. But luckily, no, I've never been hit by anyone or by a foul ball. Luckily.
Okay.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Cleet's done the hockey, right?
Yeah, hockey. I'm lucky. We got the glass, everything. We don't have to worry about flying pucks. But but I know what Casey's talking about there. I've been down there at the sidelines of Wisconsin and Iowa games, and you could just be down there taking notes. Next thing you know, the play's coming to you. So you gotta
exactly. And even with hockey too, like I do some high school hockey occasionally, and the glass doesn't always go as high as you hope, and you gotta look out.
And our co-host Matt, he does wrestling, so I mean that could get crazy, man. You could get an elbow, or something.
I've been run over before.
Really?
When I was by the table because I was ring announcing a match, and it was actually my fault. I wasn't paying attention, and I kind of got in the guy's way, and boom, he kind of ran me right over. And I also got hit by a foul ball too because I was hosting for minor league baseball out here. I was one of the hosts, and I wasn't paying attention. I was getting ready to play the game in the middle of the inning, and sure enough, bam! It hit me in the leg, and I was bruised.
Oh my gosh!
So if you're to what you were saying, Casey, if you're not paying attention or you're trying to get your notes ready and stuff like that, those type of things can happen to you.
Yeah, you got to be alert at all times. Wow.
Exactly.
So Kacy, what has been the biggest shock to you this year in the NFL in general? Watching everything, not just the Bears, but what?
That's tough. I don't really know. I feel like I'm not surprised by anything.
Really?
What about for you guys?
For me, it's the points. The points are significantly down. Like when you see like the Rams lose, or you see like the Chiefs lose, it's like 35-37, hypothetical, or 38-35. That's a football score. 38-35. They lose by a field goal or something, but the points are really high. When you see Aaron Rodgers play Tom Brady, you don't think it's going to be like 14-12 or something like that.
That's
like
true.
All the way across
low
the board.
Scoring primetime games. I didn't think about that.
A little bit lower.
Yeah.
What about you, Terry? What are you seeing out there, bud?
I mean, there's a couple different things, but one of the things that I'm looking at is just how the Eagles are playing right now.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is balling out, and I saw him, get to see him play when he was in Oklahoma and then a little bit obviously at Alabama, and the guy's got talent. I mean, he could do well, but you look at his first year in the NFL and his kind of development, and it sort of, I hope, kind of mirrors what Justin is going through as well, and bringing in, I think Matt, you said it, bringing in some of those weapons that can really help out in the passing game. So just seeing what the Eagles are doing right now. A lot of people did have them winning the division or right behind the Cowboys,
really?
But yeah, some people did. But a lot, are either Cowboys or Eagles, one or two. But I still was a little bit, just taken back, and then seeing what they've been doing. I mean, they're doing a tremendous job on both sides of the ball, and especially on that offensive side. And that was really the one question mark they had going into the season was, well, what are we going to get at the quarterback position with Jalen Hurts? And you see what he's doing, and it's a good story right now in Philly. So we'll see.
Yeah. Wow. What about you, Matt? What do you see out there, buddy?
If I had to say surprise, I'm going to stay right in our division, and I'm going to say how good Jared Goff has looked with the Lions.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to expect from the Packers still are going to be the team that's probably going to win the division. They still look really good. And once it's Aaron Rodgers, once he starts clicking with those wide receivers, I feel like they're going to start scoring points in the next couple of weeks. I just feel like that just happens every year. But I still don't know with the Vikings, but the way the Lions have looked on offense, I don't know if you guys have watched some of their games. I know some of their defense lets off a lot of points, and some of their coaching is a little bit questionable, I think, sometimes. But I think the way they played offense so far and the way he's throwing the ball, I mean, that team could throw up 30. They could easily throw up 30 points any game they play.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you know what?
I think Jared Goff would be a good quarterback.
And you got to stand behind a coach that is willing to bite the kneecaps off, right?
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, I like him though. I think he's cool.
Yeah.
I think he's cool. I just don't know if it's going to work or not. But either way, their offense is clear. Their offenses look better in those 3 games that I've seen them looking like the last 6 years. So
right.
What about you, Captain Cleat? What are you seeing out there, bud?
Well, I tell you what, guys, Kacy, the Dolphins had so much turmoil in the offseason with everything that they've gone through with investigations, this and that. Can Tua go to the next level? They won a game against, in my opinion, the best team in the NFL, the Bills, that they had no business winning a Sunday, guys. They were outgained 2-1. You know, they got freak plays that they took advantage of. And, you know, lo and behold, the Dolphins are looking like a team that can win the AFC East. Maybe win 11, 12, 13 games.
Yeah. What's Tua, like 9-1 over his last 10 or something?
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, he's just hit fifth gear, Terrence, and making decisions, great decisions he didn't do, you know, the last 2 years.
Right.
And you know what's crazy too is the receivers is Waddle.
Yeah, I was gonna say
one, and then number 2 is Tyreek. So I'm just like, wow, man, you know, that's crazy. They were showing a video. Did you guys see that video where you take Tua and you take him from left hand to right hand?
Yeah.
It's like in reversed order, and he looks like an amazing quarterback. It's like, wow. Yeah. Kyle Bolton, one of our co-hosts, Kacy, says what surprises him the most this year is how many ties there's been. So that's I didn't even realize that we were going to have ties this year. I had that figured out, but obviously I was wrong about that. I thought they
I almost thought our last game was heading in that direction, almost tie.
What's that?
I almost thought the last game, the Bears-Texans, was almost heading into a tie.
Yeah, that's I was worried about it, Matt. Yeah, it got pretty dire there in the fourth.
Yeah, it was looking pretty ugly.
Yeah, that is at the end by Raquan. I think that's what he really needs. In order to get the big payday, he's got to have the splash plays, the interceptions, the forced fumbles, the sacks, all that kind of stuff. We love the hard-hitting, the bone-crunching hits that he's been making lately and all that and all the tackles, whatever. But in order to get into that $20 million range, I think that's what he's got to do. And it looks like he is the guy that is the first one there to make the tackle this year instead of the second to third tier part of the hit philosophy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Looks like he's like the energizer over everything, you know? So, yeah, I do not know what is going on with Gordon. I'm a little concerned about Gordon. They're showing that he's been giving up big chunks and a lot of yards and stuff like that. I'm really happy with our safety. I mean, our safety Brisker is amazing, guys. What do you think about it?
Love him. I think Brisker. Yeah. I mean, I'm still in Gordon's camp too. I think, you know, just as a cornerback, it takes a little bit. The learning curve is a little bit longer than a safety. Safety, you can roam a little bit more. So I think Brisker is he's elevated in that area by playing the position that he's in. But, you know, just talking about Brisker, he's been phenomenal. The guy's a hard hitter. I mean, I said it a couple of weeks ago. He reminds me of a young Mike Brown. You know, he's that type of player, and I think he has that type of heart and mentality that Mike Brown has. So I love it. I love what I'm seeing so far from number 9. So can't wait.
Yeah,
that is a big compliment too, isn't it, guys? To say Mike Brown, I like that. That's a good connection.
He's got a ways to get there, but he's got that mentality, and that's right. The first key. He's got the mentality.
Yeah, I like how you added that because Trax wouldn't have added that. Trax would have just been like, he's Mike Brown already. Let's go, you know.
The beathead.
Cup overfill it.
Cup overfill it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think he's been a really welcome addition to the defense. And I mean, I think he had 6 tackles against Houston. Yeah. I just think he's going to keep performing. You look at what the stats show, that's one thing. But like if you're paying attention to people not realizing how actually good he is, and he could really continue to pay off for this team.
Exactly.
Great question for you guys from Kyle Bolton, man. He's usually in here as co-host. He asked, would Gordon benefit for playing more as an outside corner? What do you guys think about that? You think that would be a better fit for him, or?
Boy, you know, it's not something I want to throw him into this Sunday. But you know, obviously it's something down the road. You want to get him there just to make the defense more diverse. I think that can help. I I don't know. I mean, Terrence, what you've seen more of him?
I'm real comfortable where he is right now.
Yeah.
Not saying that he can't. Maybe you start mixing it up a little bit towards like the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But he's getting adjusted to the NFL. He's getting adjusted to NFL speed. He's getting adjusted to NFL wide receivers and the way they run patterns and tight ends. And I mean, he's seen obviously a decent amount of that. But this is a whole new ball game now. I mean, when you look at where he was in college and where he is now in the NFL, I mean, it's just two different leagues. So I'd like to just hold off on that and let him just really refine what he's doing right now. But hey, if he gets to that point, why not? Mix it up, give him the opportunity.
And have you guys heard anything about Jalen? Is he going to be a go, or what's going on with him right now?
Didn't sound hopeful when I heard him the other day.
Yeah. Hey, a lot of people were saying good things about the way Vildor played this week. They said that he played a lot better, and they saw some good things out of Vildor. Did you guys see that?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't make any glaring mistakes from what I saw. Solid, and I mean, that's what I loved about this team as a whole. They're not doing things to beat themselves. You throw Justin's struggles aside. Most of the time, this team is right where they need to be. They're playing assignment football, and we haven't had those devastating turnovers or just, mistakes that have, hurt us in past years.
Yeah. Kacy, what do you think's going on with the tight end position? How come we haven't seen more of the tight end, and we added the fullback, to our scheme? What's going on there? Have you heard anything about?
Well, I mean, I just think Eberflus is still changing practice strategies and thinking differently about his roster. I think that there's still time. I think you have Cole Kmet in there, and you have these guys who are still trying to prove their worth. I mean, would you agree?
Yeah,
I do. I think right now it's really hard to judge most of the passing offense, outside of QB1. And when you try to look at the receivers, I think right now they're all just trying to find where they're going to fit in and kind of get that thing going. So it's tough. I mean, I think all of us, we want to see more. I think we will get more. It's just going to take a little time. And, I'm just waiting for that day for it to start to click. And hopefully it's this Sunday against the G-Men. So let's do it.
And,
no better time.
I'm just a tracks dude, so I'll try to give justice to what Kellen Davis said on Chicago Clubhouse podcast last night. But when I was tuning in, he said that it's like 70-something, low 70% of the time, Cole Kmet is actually lined up to block on the inside. So that in itself is a testament to how versatile he is, because even the Greg Olsen that we fell in love with that, moved on, in the beginning of his genesis, he was not the blocker that he was when he went to the Panthers. So the fact that he's already blocking speaks volume for what he needs to do right now. And I think that we need that. We need the catches, but we also need for him to help protect his quarterback. That's very important. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah.
And for the running game, I mean, the running game has been obviously the majority of our offense. So, right now, that's literally the bread and butter of what we're doing. So we've got to make sure that that's solid. So him being able to block the way he does is certainly going to help, whether it be Montgomery or whether it be Herbert. So he's got to keep going.
Yeah.
To back up Terrence's points, guys, right now the Bears run offense second in the league at 186.7 yards per game.
Right.
And, Herbert averaged 7.9 yards per carry against the Texans.
Yeah, exactly. It's huge. It's why you got to have two running backs. The days of one running back is long gone.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys seen anything about the Ebner? Like, have you seen any flashes of him outside of special teams that you're looking forward to? Because early in the beginning, before the season started, they a lot of good talk about that guy in training camp and stuff. So I was expecting to see him, fly right out the gate and do something. But to me, I haven't really seen anything. And I thought that maybe because Montgomery, had to leave early, we might see that. It just seemed like the Khalil Herbert show, unless you guys saw something I didn't.
No,
I mean, I think they're going to continue to use Khalil, though, especially after the performance he had Sunday. So I don't know about Treston Ebner. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Neither.
I agree.
I agree.
I think it's the Herbert show until until it's no more, and you're gonna then when Montgomery's able to come back, and it's just going to be the combination of both of those guys, and they play really well off each other. So I think that's what you're going to continue to see, and I think for any rookie, any young guy coming in, it takes a while offensively. Defensively, you can throw guys in quicker. It's not easy, especially when we're talking about like Gordon playing the corner and things of that nature, but you can put a Brisker in who can have much more success, or even, some linebackers or D linemen. It's a little bit easier to get yourself adjusted than it is on that offensive side, because there's so many things offensively you have to do. I mean, as a running back, you're picking up blitzes, you're picking up blocking schemes, your own, obviously, just running the ball, running routes. There's a tremendous amount that you have to do. Receiver, same thing. Tight end, same thing.
Yeah. Guys, Terrence is talking about picking things up. You can pick up anything your sports hearts desires at tcsworldofwonders.com. From authentic jerseys to the rarest of sports memorabilia, TC's World of Wonders is a sports collector's dream. Live your sports dream, everyone, at tcsworldofwonders.com.
Look at this championship flag I got there from
that is nice.
That's awesome.
That is sharp.
I caught that over your right shoulder.
Glorious.
Very nice.
Yeah, over big jughead that I gotta get a big lens. Yeah. It's back there. It's not a mini flag either. It's just big melon. So yeah, I got that from our sponsor, man. He's awesome, man. He fly it comes fast. Word to God, I got it in like 2 days, and really cool. A lot of the guys have been getting gear from him, like jerseys and stuff. Mostly, they really like his jerseys and stuff.
I need some backdrop like you guys have. I just have my room back. It's like dark. I need some cool swag. Yeah. So, we're looking at so it says Vildor should be at slot corner. He so they don't think he should be at the outside. Our line is absolutely awesome as a running offense, but they need to play action pass, but change the center. So I think that's coming, guys. Don't you guys see that Patrick is going to be put in there in the near future?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I haven't seen what the latest projection is, but I would say in the next couple of weeks he's probably.
Yeah, I would say by the Minnesota game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think change a lot of stuff, because you guys know when we've had Steven Edwards on, when we've had Quasi, which he'll be here next week with Jason McKee, fullback for the Bears, they talk highly about Olin Kreutz and what he did to facilitate the offensive line as the field general of the offensive line. I mean, he basically orchestrated and told everybody, slide the hips, go, push the arm, don't get too far out with the arms and all this and that. He was always telling people, picking up the blitz, whatever. He was the mastermind behind that offensive line and did a lot of. But I'm thinking, because of Patrick, just looking at him and listening to what I've heard so far, he seems to be the vocal leader, and I think our offensive line really needs that. You know what I mean?
That. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I mean they're a very young line, so I mean, right. So like you need that. You need that vocal leader. You need that Kreutz. I think every team needs a Kreutz regardless, but the Bears definitely need that right now. I think that'll be a welcome.
Matt, you just got called. You just got called out, man.
I'm a huge Columbus Blue Jackets fan from Columbus. I had my Blue Jackets thing up in the back, and it fell down, so I got to get that back
I
up.
was a Blue Jackets cheerleader.
That's awesome.
What?
That's awesome. I was when I lived in Columbus. I was a Blue Jackets cheerleader, so that kind of helped my love for hockey sort of develop.
There you go.
It was so fun. Such a cool experience. Great organization.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. They had cheerleaders for hockey?
Yeah, they do. Ice girls, cheerleaders, they have the girls that play in the we were more I was more in the concourse, like I wasn't shoveling the ice. But it was a blast, just such a blast. I worked with a great team. The whole organization, top down, is just the best. So I was sad to leave, but I knew I had to move to Chicago to kind of do more with sports, bigger sports market.
Okay. You don't know just my head about the hockey pucks while you're being tossed up in the air.
Oh, I know. It is dangerous. You could slip and fall, but it was fun. I got to ride cars on the ice, like drive cars. It was cool, like promotions. Yeah, it was a good time.
Are you good on skates?
Not really. That's why, like, I was glad the audition wasn't about how well you can skate. It was more about your personality and your energy and how you could interact with fans.
Believe it or not, I'm not that good at ice hockey.
Come on, I can see you out there.
I went with my daughter, and they have like those walkers for the kids, and I never was ever without one of those things at all.
Tough. It is really tough.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell myself right now. She pulled on me once because she was losing her balance, and
both went
I
down.
fell down, but she stayed up and then fell on me.
Yeah. So, you'll be bruised for a while after that.
You gotta start with roller skating and then make your way to ice.
Yes.
Roller skating first.
Small steps.
Four wheels. Not roller blading, but roller skating.
Oh, those inline skates are terrible, Terrence. You don't want to.
Yeah. No, don't get on those.
So enough about that. Let's see what some of the people are saying out there. So Matt, with all the real estate, sorry, I brought that back up.
Do we have to do it again?
Dave,
super proud.
Dave is not at practice. They said Dave's not at practice. Herbert looked good. Another comment about must defer. Love cheerleaders. Yes, hockey has cheerleaders. I was a former Honey Bear. Love cheerleaders. We all know who that is. That's our girl.
Yeah.
So, what else you guys want to talk about? Let's talk about. I'd like to talk about really quick about the upcoming games. Does anybody have the schedule out of them? Because quite honestly, I think we're in a better position than I initially picked us to be. And now, after I unprofessionally scouted the Giants on Monday night, I'm actually looking at them like a little bit more of a challenge than I thought. I honestly thought we could just go in there and get that win. Now I'm a little bit concerned about Saquon. He looks like he's doing a little bit better. I know they said last night on the other podcast that their lead receiver is out. I think that's Sterling.
Shepard's out. Yeah, she's out for the year, rest of the season.
What do you guys think about all that? Do you think we still got a chance, or what's your take on it?
I think we're playing the same. You know what's funny is I think we're playing us because I think the Giants have a great too. They have a great head coach. They have a great defensive coordinator, but they're missing a lot. I mean, they're evaluating everybody like we're evaluating everybody. And back to what you said, I think Daniel Jones actually looked pretty good on Monday night. If his receivers weren't dropping the pass, all the balls coming their way. Saquon looks great, and they got a rookie pass rusher, Thibodeau, that looks really good. I want to see what he looks like in the second game. But you can run on them. And I think if we just continue with our running game and see what we got. But I think it's going to be interesting, too, because their defensive coordinator is so good at designing plays and blitzing. I want to see what he does to Justin Fields this game and see if Justin Fields, how he reacts to this, how their play calling is.
Yeah, guys, Matt hit on the head. These teams statistically are mirror images of each other. Bears D comes in giving up 19 points a game. Giants come in giving up 19.7. As Matt said, that's where we can beat them on the ground. They're giving up about 170 yards per game run defense. So if all figures to be a gritty 2016, 2017 type game that the Texans game was, the New York comes into the game a 3-point favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the end, I think this game is going to come down to probably one or two plays.
Yeah.
And those one or two plays are going to probably be turnovers that are going to be the difference of this game. I really like us going into this game on Sunday. I really do. I looked at that Giants offensive line. It's porous at best.
Yeah.
I really like us getting to the ball, getting to Daniel Jones, putting pressure on him, making him throw some passes that he doesn't want to throw, and us being able to take advantage of that while still being able to run the ball. Saquon's going to be the key. We're going to have to key on him. We're going to have to make Daniel Jones beat us, and I think that's the way you beat the Giants. And like I told you, I never stay still, so I will be at the game on Sunday as well. So.
That's awesome.
More reason for
Wow. That's why you are a Ford Hall of Fame sports fan, my friend.
More reason for them to win.
Holy cow, man, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So my take on this. Okay, I'm sitting down. So no, I agree with Douglas. Doug hit the nail right on the head. That Fields needs to step up, and I think he will. I think part of us having over 500 yards rushing, and most of that by Khalil Herbert and the rest by Fields and company. I think he'll step up. I want to say he's going to throw for 300 yards and rush for 100. And please don't spit your drink out, Terrence. And then also, I think he's going to throw for a couple touchdowns and run for a touchdown. I really think this is going to be his breakout game. I think it's going to be a great game all going to remember. And if that all happens and all the stars are aligned, I'll look like Nostradamus. But
Traxstradamus.
I really think this Khalil Herbert's the real deal. And I think Cleat, I think your boy from Iowa is going to strap it on and he's going to be there for the game, bro.
Yeah, I'd say he's looking when he's healthy. He's a playmaker. But I agree with you guys. So let's. I have a 5-year-old. So here's a Bears truck here, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to keep running straight through behind Herbert and really win this game with our ground attack.
We have a question from one of our fans here, one of our members. He said, "When is Velus Jones coming back?" Did anybody hear that?
I think he could possibly be back this week. I was talking with our reporter Nicholas Mariano, who does an excellent job for CHGO Bears. He said that Velus Jones Jr. was at practice Wednesday, so we could potentially see him Sunday. Still more to come, but I think there's hope there.
Yeah.
He was talking earlier about being able to Velus was talking about being able to help, Fields and unlock some of that stuff and be able to, be that for lack of better words, Swiss Army knife for our team. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's going to open up so many things. When you look at a guy, we didn't really see that too much, Terrence, at the at the big rain game, the monsoon game, week 1. I was really looking forward to seeing Debo Samuel, not really carve it up on us, but when you have a player like that in the building, it's really unique, and you wanted to see him showcase some of his talents. I really didn't see that a whole lot, but it's interesting to see those type of players make everybody else around. I almost felt that way with Cordell when he was in the building. Like Cordell Patterson always, he always something and opened up things for the rest of our guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's what Velus Jones Jr. can do for us is that he can stretch the field. So, good weather conditions, like it should be, Sunday at MetLife Stadium, it gives an opportunity if he's able to play. So, I mean, I hope he does, but whenever he does come back, I think it's only going to benefit that offense because we have to stretch the ball down the field, because if you don't, then as everyone knows, the defense just creeps up. And now you got 11 in the box, it's not even 8 in the box anymore. So you really have to make the defense, worried and scare them enough to back up some. So yeah, I think it'll be good when he comes back.
Kacy, how do you think our offensive line is going to hold up with the defensive line of New York? You think they're going to be able to hold their ground? You think they're all right?
I do. It's like you were saying. I think if we have Justin Fields building some momentum or building some confidence, this team has the opportunity to build some momentum because you have Giants, Vikings, Commanders. New York won their first 2 games by a combined 4 points.
Yeah.
Minnesota barely beat Detroit. So I think that we can kind of rely on not only our offensive line, but also the schedule, the strength of schedule, because looking at how these other teams are doing, I don't know. In New England, I think now they have their backup quarterback out there, terrible offense. So I think we have a chance to really build momentum and confidence here.
Okay.
I agree, Kacy.
I wanted to ask you one other thing too, because I've been reading something and it's a conundrum. I can't quite figure it out. In one statistic, they'll show you that Justin Fields holds onto the ball more than most quarterbacks in NFL. But they also say he is one of the quarterbacks with the least amount of time to get the ball off. How do those two things happen at the same time? I can't figure that out.
I am also feeling stumped by that.
Yeah. There's a fine line in between, right? So it's like he holds the ball longer than anyone, but the line doesn't hold up long enough, and they meet right at the same time.
Right.
It's an odd statistic on both of those. You're right. They seem to negate one another.
Yeah. So, anything else, guys?
You know what else I want to see this week? Oh, go ahead, Ed.
Oh, I was going to ask Kacy, what's your thoughts on Sunday overall against the Giants?
Oh, I think it's gonna be a close game, but I do think Bears win. I haven't thought about my score prediction yet. I don't know. I think we pull it out. I think it could be similar to this past weekend. I don't want it to be that close, but it might. And then I think it gets better. Like playing the Commanders, I think we definitely we got that in the bag. Are you guys all pretty confident?
I know I am.
Yeah.
I think very similar. I think 2017. That seems to sound really, really good right now. But 2017 Bears.
I think so too. I was going to say, I think another thing that our team could improve on Tuesday, return game. I don't think the return game has been good, and I hope that's what Baylor's. I hope he can come back. I know we can put him back there too, but our return game has been less than stellar, and I think if we can just build a little bit more on that and get the ball out a little bit further than what we've had here especially the last couple of games, that would really improve our chances, especially being away. Playing the Giants because it is away and they're playing at home, and I think there will be a lot of Bears fans representing well, like yourself, and I think it'll be a close game, and I think we can beat them at least by 3 points.
Yeah. Someone else said Bears by 3.
Yeah. 2022 Bears are undefeated with Terrence Young in the house. That's all you got to know.
I didn't go to Lambeau, so
we saw what happened there.
Right.
I went to that game a few years back at Lambeau, and it was the coldest I've ever been in my whole life. I've never experienced cold like that.
Yeah.
Just wait, Kacy. Just wait.
Oh man. Crazy.
Just wait when it's already -5 and then the wind chill kicks in and it's -17.
Like my fingers and hands don't even work. Everything's just still.
You grab a beer, you set the beer down for 30 seconds, and it's
frozen. Yeah, it's ice. Wow.
Good times.
Yeah, good times.
You know those battery jackets and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I got one of those.
You got one?
Smart.
Oh yeah. The heat warmers, little package you put in your boots and the gloves, and got the little battery operator. You press it.
Who's all going to the Commanders game? Are you going, Kacy?
No, probably not. I'll probably be working from the studio again, especially if we have like a tailgate or something going on. It's hard for me to go and just like have fun. I kind of have to be on and working. Right. So it's a different vibe for me, but I will make it to a game this year.
Nice.
How does that work with that lot? Will that lot be available that you guys have for the Thursday night game? Or?
I think so. I think we're going to try to keep securing it. It's a great lot down in the South Loop near Roosevelt, and we had a great space. We had a great turnout. I think we had like almost 200 people there. We had a food truck. I mean, it was a good time, and I'm just glad to be able to connect with more of the Chicago sports community and more Bears fans that I haven't met yet. So, yeah,
that's
all
awesome.
around. Yeah, all good stuff.
I saw all the pictures that Braggs and others were posting. I was like, man, yeah, it looked like a tremendous event.
Yeah,
so
he's like the mayor.
definitely
He was like the mayor.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Braggs, he definitely is. He definitely is.
It's funny that you say that because he told me a little bit about the tailgate and a lot about how he won a game of bags while he was there. So.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I didn't get to play.
Yeah.
We had pizza delivered there, guys, and I turned around and it was just gone immediately. I was like, I didn't even get a piece. Like, it was in seconds. And people were hungry. I get it. A lot of beers.
That's how it is with the
fueling up for the game.
Yeah, totally.
That's
a lot of people.
That's how it is with the sophomores on Monday night. I help the church out. We have a Monday night football at their house. And whenever I buy pizza, as soon as you set it down, man, they're like scavengers.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, I think that about wraps it up, guys. Man, thank you so much for your time, Kacy.
Thank you guys. This was so much fun. I hope I get to do it again. And
absolutely.
I hope I get to meet you guys all in person soon.
Definitely.
Thanks so much, Kacy. Great having you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kacy. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Good night, everyone.
See you guys.